Oh, okay.
All
Perfect.
right, well, let's go. Okay, hopefully we are catching up here. Here we go. So, hello, good afternoon, everybody. It's Anna Kibble here, I'm District Director in the Greater Denver and Colorado Springs area, and we are dropping into the Mastermind group. I'd love to, excuse me, I'd love to introduce you guys if you haven't yet met. Andrew Batson. He's our local Encompass Lending Group branch manager. He lives right here in the Denver metro area. And we thought we'd spend a couple of minutes just chatting with you guys today. Hi, Andrew.
Hey, thanks so much, Anna. Thanks for putting this together. Glad to
Yeah,
be here.
absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for joining me here. And so so this is the mortgage world is not new to you. You've been in real estate for a really long time. And you're with Encompass Lending Group, which is our Fathom partner, right? Fathom owns Encompass Lending Group. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I came to school to go to college in Boulder because I picked colleges with good skiing, and 18 years old got my real estate license, and I think 19 years old started doing loans before there was license. So you can tell looking at me that's been a little while. So all of that here in Colorado. So real estate and mortgage lending and investing, but I love it. It's all I've ever done. So and I'm super excited because when I met Josh Harley about 7 years or so ago, awesome guy, is founder of Fathom. And then it was about a couple years ago at the Fathom Summit that I met Marco. I think at the time he was just became CEO of Fathom and introduced me to ELG. I wasn't even familiar with Encompass Lending Group and the opportunity to be part of Fathom and still, part of the mortgage side is awesome. And the mortgage side is truly like part of the family. I mean, I just got back from our headquarters in Houston, and it's unique to have a mortgage company so aligned with a real estate company. Like, you think about it, like, we don't have any second chances, right? Like, we're part in a purchase transaction as a lender involved in a Fathom transaction. Like, we have to close on time, and all of the underwriters, all of the processors, everybody is totally aligned with that thinking. And so it's kind of refreshing to be part of a mortgage company that's so aligned with the real estate.
I love that. Well, it also, I don't know, it kind of sets us apart from outside agents too. I mean, you're really obligated to do an incredible job for a Fathom agent.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, I think we're at a 99% recommendation. So, like, we survey all of our customers, and I think 99% would be they would refer somebody back to Encompass. So, and part of that's just getting good people, right? Like, we're a relatively small lender, and they really only hire loan officers that have been in the business that care, put customers first, as opposed to, we're not like a refinance driven shop. We're not a call center. We're people like me that have just been in the field doing loans, working, locally with home buyers. And I think that's really critical too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so working in the field with home buyers, you and I were just chatting about kind of a transition that's been happening for first-time home buyers.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough, right? Think back, rewind. We all loved having listings in 2021, but from the perspective of a first-time buyer, it was really brutal. The rates were great, but you couldn't get your offers accepted. So at least now, first-time buyers, the opportunities for down payment assistance, seller concessions, those are all kind of back on the table where a seller's not going to turn your offer down. And really, when I talk to buyers, I always breathe a sigh of relief. If the income is there and the credit's all right, like, down payment's really not an issue. And I think it's kind of sad. I had one great couple we did a loan for, and they were like the model engineers. They had saved and budgeted, and they had an enormous down payment saved. But in the back of my head, I'm like, gee, I mean, could have bought a house 3 years ago, the house would have been a lot less expensive. And so down payment's the one thing that probably shouldn't keep somebody from buying a house. There's just so many options for that.
Yeah. Well, so if newer in real estate, or if maybe like a lot of agents, it's been a while since I've really worked with a buyer who was looking at down payment assistance. Like, what are some of the options? What things should I be aware of on my side too? Like, who's a good candidate for that?
Yeah, well, and absolutely. And, and for most of my lending career, 30 years. I was a mortgage broker, just a pure mortgage broker. And I like that. Mortgage brokers is great. You broker to the wholesale. But I never had access to the really good down payment assistance programs because companies, not companies, but nonprofits, organizations like CHAFA, Colorado Housing and Finance Authority, they approve the lender. And so Encompass Lending Group is an approved CHAFA lender. And so some of these programs are not available everywhere. And I think because of that, a lot of times loan officers will kind of scare people away from them. While there is some conventional sort of non-CHAFA down payment assistance programs, the CHAFA program really is great. Like it's not, it feels too good to be true, but it's not. And so for first-time buyers that need, some help with the down payment, I would probably start with the CHAFA. And if you're familiar with FHA loans, with an FHA loan, the credit criteria is more flexible. Debt ratios are a little more flexible. And they allow co-signers and gifts and things like that. Well, the FHA loan pairs with CHAFA. So when you're getting a CHAFA down payment assistance, it's really an FHA loan combined with a grant for the down payment assistance. And so, with that in mind, yeah, it takes maybe an extra couple weeks, but it's not like there was a time, and I can't remember how many years ago it was, but they'd run out of money all the time. So we were really, as realtors, we were really afraid of that, right? Because it's like, well, what if the funds aren't available? That's not the case anymore. The funds are available. As a CHAFA approved lender, we get you underwritten. That's one of the nice things about Encompass Lending Group. The underwriting's all in-house. Closing documents, everything's prepared in-house, so we can control that. So the process, maybe it adds a week or two to the loan process. Like if you came to me with a borrower with a contract and you needed a 2-week close, that wouldn't be awesome. But a 30 to 40 day close is going to be fine. Obviously, I always recommend having your buyer get pre-approved. It doesn't cost anything. So before you go under contract, let's get them approved and in the system. So then we're just adding the property to it and the final underwrite on that. But yeah, the CHAFA program, the income restrictions aren't bad. I mean, it goes up to 174,000 household income if they're so it's kind of that sweet spot for a first time buyer anyway. Obviously, if the income's there's some USDA programs that work in rural areas with no money down, but the income limits are so low that there's no houses that the people can find that they could buy. So the CHAFA doesn't have that. The 174 is going to get them in that price range where there's actually houses available. So
Yeah. I think that's a pretty important piece. And of course, the buyer still has to have a little bit of skin in the game, but it's not very much with Chatfa, is it?
yeah, it's $1,000 minimum financial contribution. So
Okay.
$1,000. Minimum mid credit score of 620 for a CHAFA. So FHA can sometimes go a little lower than that, but for the CHAFA, we're looking at a 620 mid credit score. We'll do that on another topic, but if you have a buyer, and I know as agents, we love to have people that are ready to go right now, but it's also nice to have a pipeline of people that are getting ready to buy. And the thing that I love about Encompass is because they're thinking not about just closing loans today, but how do we help our realtor partners? Obviously, we're being part of Fathom. So the Home Start program, we used to call it the Consumer Credit Education Program, but that sounded a little formal. So now it's the Home Start program. That program will take people and nurture them and getting their credit scores up. So low down payment, no down payment funds, maybe a lower credit score. I still want them to apply because we have this amazing person that runs that program that's going to coach them and nurture them. This is not credit repair. This is like coaching, telling them what to do, following up with them to make hold them accountable. We'll get those credit scores up, and then they're a perfect candidate for Chafa. Income's usually the one that it's hard to fix, right? Like it's hard to just, hey, you need to double your income. That's the hard one. But if we've got income, we can work with credit and we can work with down payment.
I love that. And what I'm seeing on my side is sellers aren't as reluctant to accept offers today that have down payment assistance. I mean, they're kind of in a hotter market, FHA loans, down payment assistance. They kind of have this stigma attached to them,
Yeah.
where quite frankly, listing agents who aren't very knowledgeable think that they're not as good of a deal. They're not a sure thing to close. But I mean, you have to go through all of the same qualification processes to get a CHFA loan as you and an FHA loan as you do a conventional loan. So you're really right. You're walking that same path where you have a pretty reasonable certainty of making it to the closing table if you've gone through the pre-qualification process, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I love that you brought that up because that's always been kind of the concern, like, oh, it's a weaker offer. Uh, the couple things there. I mean, one is the pre-approval letter is still a pre-approval letter, but more importantly, at least for me, as a loan officer, I'm calling, you make an offer, I'm on the phone with the listing agent. And I think that's a big deal, right? Like they're actually talking to a person about, yes, this, don't be afraid of this. Like we're a direct lender. We do the underwriting, we do the closing. This isn't a pre-qual letter. This is a pre-approval letter. We've already reviewed their W-2s and pay stubs. This is going to close.
Yeah.
So I think that helps a lot. So I think in this market, you're okay with that. And also, there's a little more flexibility on prices, right? Because if you combine the CHFA down payment assistance with a seller concession for closing costs, that's how you're really going to get down to that. Oh, you might only need $1,000, out of pocket, which is pretty awesome.
Right. I love it. Well, I love all of that, and I'm really curious to learn more about the Home Start program. What are the chances you're free to join me next week and we can talk about it?
Yeah, let's do it. I'll get ready for that, and we'll talk next week.
Awesome.
All
Awesome.
right.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
your time this afternoon. Hey, we're going to talk soon. And when you see this in the Facebook page, Andrew, will you put your contact information in the comments
Oh,
so that
I
agents can
will.
reach out to you?
Yeah. And were you in broadcast? Like you're really, really good at this. Were you in broadcasting?
Oh, I have a radio voice. Hey, no,
Yeah.
this is just what I do in my spare time.
Is it?
My family we're all performers, right?
Oh.
In one way, shape, or form. The rest of my family, they're musicians. So my husband's in bands, my daughters go in the same direction. My son's an artist and a budding musician. So it's just, I don't know.
Oh,
It's
it's
just
so
kind of what we
natural.
do.
That was amazing. It's like, I mean, you obviously know the material and the content, but I was like, wow, that was good. I'm excited to watch it. So,
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
love it. And we'll see you next week.
Okay, sounds good. Let me know if you have any tips if I need to adjust background.